Hi, I am Ethem from KF University, and this is my semester project about object-oriented programming from Programming Languages class. And the lecturer is Dr. Semih Yumuşak. Let's start. What will we see here? Content, you know that we use classic types in first flow of programming languages, but OOP is different because we will use some classes, attributes, and operates between the classes. Yes, this will be inspired. Understanding the OOP benefits for principle of OOP and entities in Java and concludes. Let's start. Overview. What is the programming in general? I'm thinking a machine like a function, like torque sugar factory. You give some beet and take sugar and other products. But all these are some input types because single data. But some programmers think that can we operate with composite and different relationships? Yes, understanding the OOP. OOP use classes and objects to make a relation between entities. It's preferred to operate with blocks carrying composite data. Secondly, OOP doesn't focus on writing lines and lines, hundreds and thousands lines. No, OOP has the plain and schema and go to goal. And thirdly, only not Java, C++, JavaScript, Python, and also C#. It's OOP languages. Let's continue. Benefits of OOP. Yes, the main task is the focus on how these concepts relate to the real world. Real world. We think relational program according to our life. So it's also very important in terms of user satisfaction. Yes, benefits of OOP. OOP provide to us some benefits like modularity, information hiding, and pluggable and easy to debug and code reuse. And also, for principle of OOP, software is living beings. They're always in need of change and improvement. And OOP has for principle because it works on some rules to update and prevent future errors. These rules, these principles are inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation. Inheritance. Firstly, we will start with inheritance. There are children and parents classes in OOP and in Java. So we can say for inheritance, child classes inherit data and behaviors from parent class, and objects of different types often have a certain thing in common with each other, so we work different classes that take properties of each other. Inheritance supports reusability also, so we can use again and again some codes. This is so good because there's no writing some codes. Also, this makes it easier to read code for subclasses. Yes, this is advantage for me. Polymorphism. That means designing objects to share behaviors. We know the inheritance, so polymorphism is between classes that relation with inheritance to execute different behaviors in two ways, method overloading and method overriding. Let's explain this. Overloading, it can explain it like there are functions that same name, but there are different parameters inside of these. As you see, the other one is overriding. It is in a child class. If you call a function from parent class and if you give some parameters, it will be overriding. Let's continue. Abstraction, and that means user interact, and third different with only selected attributes. Actually, we use abstraction in real life. If I say car, you don't think the engine of car, maybe door of car, you don't think. You think only appearance of car. So this name of car is abstraction. In software, abstraction in software has important security role because by only selected data user reach and changing. The benefits are here, but I'm already explained it. That's encapsulation. Another important principle of OOP, we want to reach to main class from subclasses, but this should block code because safety is important. So we can use encapsulation principle at here. Encapsulation is prevent the data from changing by making it constant where it is defined. Yes, until here we saw principles. Now we can go to Java OOP entities. OOP entities in Java. I prefer Java as OOP design language. It is useful for this, and there are some builds about OOP in Java. I will explain 5 of them, many of them, but I will explain 5 of them. I think enough. They are object, class, events, interface, and package. Let's start. Object. This is main factor of OOP. As you know, it has many features within itself. The fundamental thing when you build the OOP design. Each of the properties of the objects we use during programming is a data stored in RAM. For example, changing the color of the form is changing the property of the object, and this change is committed in RAM. Class. Classes are abstract that use it to create more specific, concrete objects. They are often represent broad categories. You have to add operations in here. For example, the main class, you keep some functions, and the others, if you want to reach, you call the functions. Events. Yes, events. These are not only objects, also subprograms, and they don't return any value. In fact, every event is a procedure. When that event occurs, the corresponding procedure runs. I think this is enough for events. Let's skip the interface. Interface is so important because we collected the properties like color, like name, like age, weight in classes and subprograms. But we also have interfaces that collect operations here, as you see. If you have so many functions, you can separate them according to topics in interfaces. So how we collect all these builds like object, class, events, and interface like that? Let's learn package. Packages, you can have some different topics in your project. So you have packages in Java and OOP procedures. We can easily collect our works at one place according to different purpose, according to different topics. Yes, finally, as a conclusion, if you want to work with object-oriented programming, this requires thinking about structure of the program and planning at the beginning of coding and start of coding. You should plan. Overall, implementing OOP allows for better data structures and reusability, same time in the long run. Yes, these are references, and lecture notes were also used. All codes and designs belong to me and no visual content has been copied. Thank you, that's all. I'm Ethem Büyüksaçlı, computer engineering student at KF University. Thank you.